Yeah, he had a great run, and it's fun to watch. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I've watched a lot of basketball. You know you're doing something unique when one of the greatest basketball players ever mentions that they're watching you play. Larry Bird's statement that he watched Caitlin Clark and her team as much as he watched last season was exactly that Indiana State, his former collegiate squad. Additionally, if you know anything about Larry Bird, you are aware that he is not one to bestow praise readily. This man has played against the best basketball players in history and has seen it all nevertheless. He finds time to see a young player who is in contrast only beginning her career. However, this is not just about Bird being a fan. He recognizes something in Clark that makes him think of his own basketball career. Consider this. Bird wasn't the most athletic player on the court in his day. He wasn't the fastest runner or the tallest jumper. He possessed an incalculable understanding of the game that appeared to be nearly miraculous. Decades later, he is still experiencing the same enchantment in Clark's game. Clark is establishing a whole new ocean in addition to generating waves, and Caitlin Clark is breaking television records again. She is breaking her own television records basketball. Nike offered her a $28 million contract before she ever participated in her first professional game. That's more than many NBA players make. To put it in context, even though she has only just begun, she is already the WNBA's top star. The problem with being in the spotlight, though, is that it's not all cheers and autographs. Everyone watches your every move, and some people love you while others doubt you. When you compare Bird and Clark, you can begin to understand why he is such a huge fan. As if they were reading minds while everyone else was reading a book, they both possess this sixth sense on the court, which allows them to anticipate plays before they occur. They both can shoot from range that make coaches concerned and defenders upset. But the shooting isn't the only thing. It's their perspective on the game. While most players are playing checkers, Bird and Clark are playing chess, thinking 3, 4, and 5 moves ahead. Let's break down what makes Clark's game so exceptional. She is evidence that basketball is more about thinking faster and performing better than it is about who can run faster or jump higher. The story becomes much more intriguing at this point. Having won 9 NBA titles as a player, and Coach Steve Kerr is no stranger to brilliance. But he notices something different in Clark. He sees Steph Curry instead of Larry Bird. And when you think about it, that comparison might be even more telling about where basketball is headed. Here's what Kerr said, and pay attention because this is important. Caitlin reminds me a lot of Steph Curry. A lot of people might not remember this, but in Steph's first couple of years, he wasn't a superstar. He wasn't who he is now. I've been watching from afar and understanding just how much of a power she is out there on the court. The cool part is the way that she plays and her range and the level of difficulty on her shots is obviously a very close comparison to the way he needed to gain strength and realize that he was being pursued. That's what Caitlin is going through at the moment. Clark is also discovering that the professional game is different, much like Curry did in his formative years. She has had some incredible games, such as when she scored 30 points against the Washington Mystics, when everything seemed to go as planned. However, she has also experienced difficult nights, such as the time she shot only 10% against the New York Liberty. That's the problem about being a pro. You have to learn to manage both the highs and the lows. Like Curry, Clark accomplishes things on the floor that other players wouldn't ever dream of trying. She starts shooting as soon as she crosses half court, and we're not talking about desperate heaves. These are deliberate shots that she practices every single day. Her passing, it's more like watching Patrick Mahomes throw a football than a typical basketball. She can throw no-look passes, behind-the-back passes, and full-court bombs that hit teammates perfectly in stride. She is not merely playing basketball. Rather, she is redefining the game's rules. Curry is unable to contain his admiration. The best shooter in NBA history has the following thoughts regarding Clark. However, he stated in a different interview that she is fearless. She is driven by the game.